Hello students, welcome to my online classroom. Today in this video I am going to teach you chapter number 4, The Red Trap, from our English reader Flamingo. This is the second part of this lesson. In the first part I taught you that how the red trap sailor, means the paddler, he requested for shelter in the cottage of one old crofter, and next morning after getting up, when he went outside, so again he came back to the cottage after half an hour, and he smashed the window pane and he stole his money from the cottage of this old crofter, and he went away. Afterward, what happened or what problem he faced, we will know in this part. So please follow me. As he walked along with the money in his pocket, he felt quite pleased with his smartness. So when he took the money from the house cottage of the old crofter, and he kept this money in his pocket. So in the beginning, very first, he felt very happy and he thought himself very clever. Smartness means he felt that he is very smart. He realized, of course, that at first he dared not continue on the public highway. After walking in some distance, he thought that it will not be safe to walk on the public highway, but must turn up the road into the woods. So he decided that he should take the road of the forest, so it will be the safe road for him. During the first hours, this caused him no difficulty, and when he entered in the forest road and he had been walking there, so for first hour there were no problem. Later in the day it became worse. Later in the day means after some time it became worse, means to walk in the forest became very difficult for him, for it was a big and confusing forest, because the forest was very big and confusing also. Forest which he had gotten into, the forest where he was walking, he tried to be sure to walk in a definite direction. So he was trying that he should walk in some particular direction so that he should not forget the way, but the paths twisted back and forth so strangely. But the another problem was there, that in the forest the roads or the ways were diverted in many directions, so it was not possible to walk or move in some particular direction. He walked and walked without coming to the end of the wood. So he had been walking and walking, but he did not cross or he did not come out of the forest. And finally he realized that he had only been walking around in the same part of the forest. And in the end he came to know that he is not going out of the forest, but he was circling, or he was just moving around up only one part of the forest. All at once he recalled his thoughts about the world and the red trap. Now his own turn had come. All at once he recalled, so suddenly one thought came in his mind, or he remembered. So in the first part I told you that one day when he was walking, so suddenly one thought came in his mind, and he thought that the entire world is like a big red trap. And today he is thinking that now he had come into this red trap of the world. He had let himself be fooled by a bat, and he thought that he had made, or he became fool today, or he got attracted by a bat, means the attraction. So what is the bait here? The money of this old crofter became the bait for him here, and had been caught, and because of this money only, now he came in the trap of this world, or this world red trap. The whole forest with its trunks and branches, its thickets and fallen logs closed in upon him like an impenetrable prison. So now he is looking at the forest. So forest is full of the trees and the very big trunks, boughs, branches, and the dry leaves fallen and the logs etc. what are fallen on the ground. So these all things has closed him just like he is in one prison. And which type of prison? Impenetrable means the prison form where it is not possible to come out. So he thought that now it is not easy to escape from this prison. So what is the prison here? This dense forest is called here prison. It was late in December. Darkness was already descending over the forest. So this was the time of December month, and it was getting dark in the evening. So everywhere all over the forest the darkness was spreading. This increased the danger, and along with the darkness there was increasing danger and risk for the paddler, and increased also his gloom and despair. As well as his gloom means his sadness, and his feeling of unhappiness was also increasing in him. Finally he saw no way out, and he sank down on the ground, tried to death. And in the last moment, after trying with his best, he thought that there is no option to escape. After getting fully tired, he sat on the ground, and he thought that now this is the end of his life, means he is very close to his death. Thinking that his last moment had come, means he thought that now his death is very closed. But just he laid his head on the ground. But when he stretched on the ground and he laid his head on the ground, so he heard a sound, a hard regular thumping. So he heard one sound. This was a regular thumping sound. Thumping means the sound of beating something. There was no doubt as to what that was. He raised himself. Those are the hammer strokes from an iron mill. So he became sure that the sound what he was listening, this sound was the sound of hammer stroke. So he raised himself, means he stood up, and he was sure that this was the sound of the hammer, and he thought that there may be any iron mill. He thought there must be people nearby, and he thought that definitely some people may be there very near to him and they are working there. So he summoned all his strength. Summoned means he gathered or collected. His all strength means all potential and power. Got up means he stood up, and staggered means he moved toward in the direction of the sound. The Ramsjo ironwork, which are now closed down. So he went there. So actually this was one factory. The name of the factory was the Ramsjo ironwork, and which was closed down. Were not so long ago, but not very early. Just after some hour it was closed. A large plant. So large plant means this was one very big plant or a factory, and many kind of machines were there, just like a smelter, rolling mill, and forge. So these all things he noticed there. In the summertime, long lines of heavily loaded barges and scows slid down the canal. So here now describing the scene, so especially in the summertime. In front of this forge, means in front of this iron factory, what is noticed here? So barges and scows, they are actually the kind of boats, especially the flat bottom boats are called barges, and scows they use for transporting goods. So these boats were appear there. They may be loaded, and later these boats were Slid down means they were brought in the canal, and through this canal these loaded boats reached to one large inland lake. And in the winter time the roads near the mill were black from all the coal dust which sifted down from the big charcoal carrots. But in the winter time the condition is totally different. He is telling that in winter time the surrounding of the forge or the factory road etc may be covered with the coal dust and they will turn into black because the charcoal may be burning there and dust was covering the road and the surrounding place of this forge. During one of the long dark evenings just before Christmas, the master smith and his helper sat in the dark forge near the furnace. During one of the long dark evening means this was the dark evening, and that day what happened just before Christmas, and this was the day of just one day before the Christmas. The master smith and his helper. Master smith means the head of the technician or the main of the forge, and his helper means the person who was there to support him, sat in the dark forge. They both people were seen sitting there. Dark forge means in the factory there was no light or the light was dim. Near the furnace means the fire stove or where the fire or the coal is burned, this is called. It may be in the box or some kind of device may be there. So they both were sitting and waiting for the pig iron. Pig iron means impure, or we can say the crude iron, which had been put in the fire. So the iron, this pig iron was kept in the fire to be ready to put on the anvil. So the iron will melt there. Actually they were getting this iron piece ready to put it on the anvil. Anvil means a kind of block where the melted iron is kept to get the required shape. So they were waiting that after getting it melt they will put this iron or pour this iron over this anvil and they will get the required shape of this iron. Every now and then one of them got up to steer the glowing mass with a long iron bar. Every now means out of these two anyone was frequently going to steer the glowing mass, means just to make the fire or burn the fire there, and they were steering it, so making it to burn, and they used one long iron bar to steer it, returning in a few moments dripping with perspiration, and after steering when they came back, so they were sweating, means there may be very hot, so they were getting sweat. Though as was the custom he wore nothing but a long shirt and a pair of wooden shoes, but because of the custom of the forge they have to wear one long shirt and a pair of wooden shoes. All the time there were many sounds to be heard in the forge. Here it is described that different kind of sounds were heard there in the forge. Forge means the factory or the company or the mill. The big bellows groaned and the burning coal cracked. Here bellow means a kind of device that is used to blow air to make the fire or to burn the fire. So the sound of this bellows also coming, and generally it is used in the iron mills. And next sound was the burning of the coal. So the when coal was burning, so it was also cracking, so the sound of splitting of the charcoal. The fire boy shoveled, and one boy he was sitting near the furnace, and he was shoveled means he was putting charcoal into the Maw means the mouth of the furnace. So the furnace means a fire stove. So from the box he was taking the charcoal. This is swallowed means it may be a kind of device, and through it he was putting charcoal in the furnace with a great deal of clatter. And when he was putting charcoal, so again some clattering sound, different kind of sound was coming there. So in this way these all sounds were inside the forge. What is happening outside we will know here. Outside roared the waterfall, and a sharp north wind whipped the rain against the brick tiled roof. Outside the sound of waterfall was there, and one more sound of the wind was there. So the wind was whipping the brick tiled roof of the forge. It was probably an account of all this noise that the blacksmith did not notice that a man had opened the gate and entered the forge. Because of this all disturbance, the blacksmith could not notice that how one man opened the gate of the forge and he entered in the mill, until he stood close up to the furnace, and he did not notice until the man came very close to the furnace and stood before them. Surely it was nothing unusual for poor vagabond, and here he is saying that it is not unusual for him, means it was very common thing. So the such type of vagabonds means the beggar, I think, used to come there or maybe coming there without taking permission, and without any better shelter for the night, to be attracted to the forge by the glow of light, because in the forest they cannot get good shelter, so they may be attracted toward the this forge, because there may be burning the light. So because of the glow of the light they attracts toward this forge, which escaped through the sooty panes. How he escaped means very sharply or without making noise he came there through the sooty panes. Sooty means the covered with coal dust, means the black color. Panes means the window panes or the pane of the door. So through that he entered, and to come in to warm themselves in front of the fire. And he came and he was warming himself standing before the fire. The blacksmiths glanced only casually and indifferently at the intruder. So just he gazed means slightly he looked at him. He did not paid much attention on him. He looked the way people of his type usually did, with a long beard, dirty. So he know that such type of people having long beard and dirty, in this type of people may come there. Ragged means old and dirty clothes, and with a bunch of red tape dangling on his chest. So the man came, he was also like the other vagabond. He was also wearing the ragged means old clothes were there, and one bunch of the red tape was dangling, means it was hanging on his chest. He asked permission to stay, and the master blacksmith nodded a haughty consent without honoring him with a single word. So when the vagabond means the peddler, he entered, and now he was asking permission from the blacksmith. So just he nodded only, and the nodding was also not friendly. It was haughty, means it was unfriendly, and with his pride he nodded. So in this way he consented or permitted without honoring him with a single word, and even he didn't speak any one word, just he nodded. The tramp did not say anything either. He had not come there to talk, but only to warm himself. So here the tramp means the peddler, he did not bother because the iron master did not give any response. So his concern is not to come and talk to this man, but his concern is there just to warm himself, get a shelter, and spend that night there in the forge. and he wanted to sleep there. In those days, the Ramsjo iron mill was owned by a very prominent iron master. At that time, this Ramsjo iron mill was in the position of one very prominent, means very strict master, iron master. He was the owner, whose greatest ambition was to ship out good iron to the market. And what was his intention, or his purpose, was to sell good iron in the market. This was his aim. So he watched both night and day to see that the work was done as well as possible. So day and night he kept watch on his forge, and he thought that the work should be done in the proper way so that he can give the good output or good quality of iron he can supply in the market. This was his plan. And at this very moment he came into the forge on one of his nightly round of inspection. And that day also, when he came on his night inspection, so naturally the first thing he saw was the tall ragamuffin. So when he entered, he saw that one tall, means one kind of tall, actually this ragamuffin, this is actually the peddler who was standing before the furnace. So he looked at him. One more meaning of this ragamuffin, this is also a kind of dance pattern. So the posture of the standing of the peddler may be in that way. So he attracted, he came to him only, who had eased his way so close to the furnace that steam rose from his wet rays. And with very easy way he was, or in the comforting way, he was standing very close to the furnace, and from his wet clothes, because of the rain, his clothes might have become wet, and the steam from his clothes were rising high, and he looked at it. He noticed that the steam which was coming out from his clothes. Sorry. This iron master did not follow the example of the blacksmith, who had hardly deigned to look at the stranger. He walked close up to him, looked him over very carefully, then tore off his slouch hat to get a better view of his face. So when the iron master came, so he did not follow the example of the blacksmith, means in which way the blacksmith behaved, or he did not notice on him, he did not repeat, or he did not do like the blacksmith. But what he did, who had hardly deigned to look at the stranger. So he was very interested to look and inquire about this stranger. So he walked close up to him. So he came very close, looked over very carefully, and he looked his face very carefully, means paying very good attention. He looked his face, then tore off his slouch hat. So he wore one big round hat, so he removed his hat, and he wanted to see his face in better way, or in proper way. But of course it is you. After looking at his face, what he's saying, of course it is you, Nils Olof, he said. And after looking his face, he thought that the man was looking familiar for him, he said, and he is calling him by Nils Olof. How you do look, second, how you are looking, he told. The man with the rat trap had never before seen the iron master at Ramsjo, and did not even know what his name was. But here the rat trap seller, he did not know, and he never met to him, and he didn't know his name also. But it occurred to him that if the fine gentleman thought he was an old acquaintance, so he might perhaps throw him a couple of kroners. So he thought that the iron master may be a nice gentleman and he is a rich person. So throw him a couple of kroner means he will support him or he will give him some money. So therefore he did not want to undeceive him all at once. Because of this reason, he did not tell the reality. Undeceive him means he did not tell the fact that what is a reality and what is the reality means he was not Niels Olof and he never met to him, and the iron master was telling that he was the known person for him. So he kept silence. He did not reveal the secret that actually who is he. Yes, God knows things have gone downhill with me, he said, and he told that God knows that my condition was not good, so I came in this. I now I am living in that way. You should not have resigned from the regiment, said the iron master. So the iron master was confused here. So he's telling that he thought that he may be his friend. So he is telling that you shouldn't have resigned from the regiment. Regiment means the army. So he's telling that you should not have resigned from the army. That was the mistake, he told. If only I had still been in the service at the time, it never would have happened. And Iron Master told that if I would be with you at that time, so I will not suggest you to resign your job from the army. So still he is thinking that he is his old friend and he was in the army with him. Well, now of course you will come home with me. And here the Iron Master is requesting him to come along with him to his home, to go along up to the manor house and be received by the honor like an old regimental comrade. That however did not please the tramp. So here the tramp means the peddler is thinking that if I'll go along with this Iron Master and I will be received there as his own, as his regimental friend, so it will not be good for the tramp. So no, I couldn't think of it, he said, looking quite alarmed. So he denied to go along with him, and he was feeling some risk to go along with him. So looking quite alarmed means he felt bit scared and he thought that it is not good to go along with him. Reason, because he has stolen the money. So he is now having this 30 kroner what he stole from the house of this old crofter. He thought of the 30 kroner to go up to the manor house would be like throwing himself voluntarily into the lion's den, and along with this 30 kroner going to the house of the honor is like going into the lion's den means knowingly taking any risk. He only wanted a chance to sleep here in the forge and then sneak away as inconspicuously as possible. So only he wanted that anyway he should spend his night there, he should sleep there, and when he will get chance, so he will sneak away from there inconspicuously means in the hiding way, no one will notice and he will move away from this place. So this was his plan. The Iron Master assumed that he felt embarrassed because of his miserable clothing. Please don't think that I have such a fine home that you cannot show yourself there, he said. So the Iron Master understood that the man is not feeling good, feeling embarrassed to come along with him in his home. So he is now making it clear. So he told that you don't think that I have very big and beautiful house, so you can come without any hesitation. And he told some other thing. He said Elizabeth is dead, as you may already have heard. So he's telling that, as you know, he's thinking that still he is his friend. So he told his wife is already dead. My boys are abroad and there is no one at home except my oldest daughter and myself. And he told that in my house, you know that my boys means his sons are in abroad, and he is having only his oldest daughter, and they both, only these two peoples are living in this house. So he told that you no need to hesitate or don't think about these all, that how you are looking or which type of clothes you wore now. So he's trying to convince him. We were just saying that it was too bad we didn't have any company for Christmas. And he told that now just one day, after one day there is a Christmas. You know that this is the month of December, and he's telling that we don't have any person to get his company, as he told that wife died and the sons are in abroad. So now come along with me and help us make the Christmas food disappear a little faster. And he told that just only one thing I want, that you come along with me and help us to prepare the Christmas food, and we will make, if you will be with us, so we'll make it faster, little faster. But the stranger said no and no and again no, and then Iron Master saw that he must give in. He requested many times, but always he told no and no. So at the last, Iron Master thought that he should leave him here only. So he decided to leave him, and he went. Dear student, next part of this lesson I'll teach you in part 3. I hope you will like this video, and if you want to watch my videos, please subscribe my channel and press bell icon so that you can get the notification of my all upload videos. Thank you for watching.